Alright, so I did notice something else as well. If I press 3, you see here how it's stretching. If I press 3 again, see, it's pulling. What's happening is this. Right click, face mode, select it. If I press 3, see? So this is that face. When you press 3 for the smoothing preview, the software, 3D software, and just the algorithm, whatever it does, it pulls on it, right? See, 1 versus 3. Down here, it needs a supporting edge loop. Alt 5 for wireframe unshaded. See right here? I'm gonna press 5 just for the shading. 5. See, it's missing that little buffer, or to act as a barrier to stop it from stretching and pulling on the mesh when it tries to do the level 3 smoothing. See, smooshed and it's pulling on it. What we have to do is here, shift right click, insert edge loop. Here's the insert edge loop tool, and whatever I want to slap it here, right, going across, right, I'm gonna click, drag down to about here. I don't want it tight, right, and I don't want it to be too loose, so right around here, maybe around here. See, press W to get out of the tool. Right click, object mode. See? So face mode, right click, hold, choose face. Now if I were to go wrap it around, shift, holding down shift, double click, shift, double click, shift, double click, press 3. See? That, what looks like a strip of that train tracks, actually when I press 3, it's this much being pulled on it. Okay. And what that did is if I press 6, I press 3, see, you see this part? Now if I were to go in, so I don't want you to do this right now, what I'm about to do. Just watch what I'm doing. Edge mode. I'm gonna delete this. Shift, right click and hold, delete edge. Now, before I delete the edge, wait 1 second. See how it looks, right? Nice and clean. Now I'm gonna delete it. Now I'm gonna press 3. See, the stretching. See how the stretching is super obvious, right? What's happening is that face mode, I'm gonna select the floor train tracks, right? Now if I press 3 again for smooth, see it's pulling up. So what I'm showing again is just how the software behaves. That when I press the 3 for the smoothing and that smooshing and stretching effect that it does, right? And the reason why, again, I'm gonna undo. Come on. There, now I brought it back. So that supporting edge loops that I just added with the insert edge loop, and see how it preserves. Ooh, it's nasty ass. I gotta fix that. So, you know, please remember that. Anyway, so you see this part right here, right? This has to do with, I believe, if I go into the attribute editor for the model mesh, I'm gonna go into the smooth mesh again, and I need to go ahead and change this. Again, that's under smooth mesh. open subdiv controls. I need to set this back to preserve edges and corners. Bam. See? I've done this previously before, I believe in the tutorial, where I did this, right? And then I had to do it again because of the fact that of combining the neck cylinder to the body. That created a whole new mesh which had reset this back to the default value. So this is what you want. UV boundary smoothing, preserve edges and corners. If I zoom in. Also to turn on smooth triangles. Bam, see? Right there. So that's that. So it's pretty airtight. Let's look at the mesh. Press 1. And I also kind of want to save this. I'm going to delete history right here. And then Control Shift S. Let's name this near final. So I just named it near final before liquid modeling. Hit save as. There we go. Okay, so this is the body is pretty much done. Here, what I need to do is basically do something like this. So to lay out the UVs nice and orderly. So regardless whether it's a product modeling and high res renders for studio lighting, photorealistic, regardless, even though this is how we're approaching it, the UVs is universal, where you have to at least stage it like this at the very least, for like game art. And this guy right here, that's the actual liquid inside of it that also needs to be recreated, but it's fairly quick, right? Fairly quick. Having this as well as the outer shell are really important, because that's the only way to get really nice photorealistic renders. It could be really stunning because of the refractions, reflections, transmission, which is how the light goes through it and bounces around. Anyway, so from here, what I want to do is I'm going to turn this back on. Right, blue, like I said, blue means it's facing the skin of the UV is facing outward and good, not colored red or hot pink. That means it's inside out. And at the same time, I need to have the sizing, right? Remember I mentioned about the sizing, corrected as well. Alright, now what I need to do, I'm gonna close this out and let me do this, right? Alright, I'm gonna close the outliner. My spacing don't have a whole lot of real estate, and I'm gonna crack this open too. Alright, let me space front, always remember where we are. Okay, so let's see where else I gotta fix. Well, let's start off with over here. Why does it do that? Let me see. Let's close this. Right, shell mode. Let's see what we got. So you see how it's interactive, whether it be in the 3D world, interacts with here. So I'm looking at this, right? I'm just making sure what is what, because you have the inside and the outside, so it can confuse you. I'm gonna grab all of this. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Grab this one and grab this one. So holding shift, I'm gonna just click once. There we go. And then here, I'm gonna just pull it down for now. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Press R for the scale tool. And then here, I'm gonna go scale it from here. Don't scale it from out here. I'm gonna try to match up the sizing of this to this. So I'm gonna here, pull from the center, or pull in. The smaller you make, the little, they call it UV, what do you call it? Islands, they call it, little patches of islands, UV shell islands, or whatever, the UV shells. I'm gonna just squeeze it. See, it works inverse, meaning that you think that to make it bigger, right? You make it bigger, maybe it'll make this bigger, but it doesn't work like that. It works the opposite way around, where you make it smaller and the pattern gets bigger. Just the thinking is reversed. Smaller, so right around there, see? I'm just squeezing it in, eyeballing it, and it matches pretty much. See, this and this, more or less. If I look at here, and then if I turn, actually this looks a little bit smaller. Don't mind if it's red, that's just the UV shell doing its thing, acting up. Yeah, see? Maybe I gotta make it smaller. No, bigger. Something like that. Okay, so I got that. Okay, so just to confirm, outer shell, we resized it, right? This is before, this is after. Smaller means bigger. Smaller means bigger shells. I mean bigger patterns. And then what is this one right here? That's the outer shell for that. I'm gonna press W. One thing I also want to mention, it's important, is if you ever grab your shell, right, occasionally look down here, because you may accidentally, while pressing W and moving, you might accidentally press S. S would land a keyframe over here, and you want to avoid this at all costs. You know, it will crash the system. This happened a couple of times with students where they accidentally keyframed it, and they couldn't figure out what was going wrong. So that's from accidentally pressing S, which sets the keyframe. If ever you have this happen, right, you right click on it, on the timeline, delete. Right click and delete. So it can and will happen. So this guy, that's the outer shell as well. This one, this seems to be the inside. This one, I press Q as in Q-tip to hide the move tool. That's the outside. So that one is outside. Press W. I want to grab it. I'll put it over here. So these are inside. I know that for a fact now. I'll leave it here. These are inside. I'm going to just put them over here for now. And then from there, so these are outside, inside as well. Yeah, inside. Press W, chuck it over here. This obviously outside. Yeah. Grab it, put it here. This is the inside. If I press Control 1, see, inside. Isolate, select, Control 1. Control 1 to get out of it. So press W, chuck it over there for the inside shell. And this one, that's the outside. Grab it, and chuck it here. This one is the inside. Yeah. Grab it, chuck it over here. This one is the outside. Yep. Very nice. Put over here. This one is the inside. Put over here. So got just organizing it. This is just the lip, outer ring. Put over here. Okay, so the main point from here is, you see in the UV editor, this stuff right here, green and red, this is your origin point where everything has to be held in here. This is just it repeating and tiling, right? And it looks like, well, might as well just put it anywhere I want, but that's not the case, because later on there's this point where you have to do a UV snapshot where it'll capture only this area, 0 to 1, 0 to 1, right? This portion only. Anywhere else it's not going to capture any information, so we have to do that right now. But at the same time, I'm still not done with the proportional resizing. See right here, this guy right here is nasty. It's stretching like crazy. I don't like that. But it's not worth it though, just to fix this. And I'm gonna leave this alone. You gotta pick and choose your battles. I'm not gonna mess with that. Yeah, unless I... See, now you gotta kind of start to think about certain things. I'm gonna leave it alone. Forget it, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let that stretch. This here can be fixed. Or can it be fixed? Yeah, it can be fixed, but... right here stretching. What can I do? So regarding this stretching over here, right? Whereas this one's fine, but this one's stretching. Here's the culprit, right? And let me see. I'm also right click, UV. We're in UV mode. I'm gonna go into Object X Symmetry. Marquee, select these UVs. And then if I scale it, would it be safe to scale it? Yeah. So press R for scale. I'm just gonna look over here, choreograph from here, and look here. Here, I'm gonna pull on the UVs. Alright, so not that. I'm gonna stretch it out. So it kind of does this. Alright, so it looks more or less. Alright, that's good. So that kind of fixed it, yeah, good. Again, that was under UVs. You select the one side of it, make sure you're on Object X, and you just press R, and you just stretch it out to fill in more of it and making it look less stretchy. Alright, stop. Right click and hold UV shell. Select the shell, or just chuck it over here for a bit. So you corrected that. Let me see what this was. This guy right here, I mean, it's almost there. I'm gonna compare that. Alright, see, this one's a little bit bigger. See, about 10%, 15% bigger. So I want the sidewall to match. I grab it, right? I grab both sides because it's Object X, left to right. Now I'm gonna make it smaller. Right, press R, and then I'm gonna squeeze it from the center. That's too big. Undo that. There. I only made it slightly. A bit more. Looking at this, looking at that. Okay, I'm going to turn off Object X, and then right click Edge Mode. You'll notice the behavior of these UVs is that press Q, hide the tool. This edge, right, when I touch here, this guy lights up because they're basically the same edge. This edge connects this side to this side, this edge right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right click UV shell again. I'm going to grab this shell and make sure to turn off symmetry, and I'm going to just chuck it over here for now. Grab this guy, right, chuck it over here.